Change Radio, you're talking to Ricky, and we are here for another interesting subject. Now, this one, it's going to be a breakdown on breakdown, because me, yours truly, I'm new to this subject. Some of these subjects, you just hear them here and there and touch and go. And so today I'm sitting with Menek Agnes, and there is a response that brought you to change. So what's going on? Just update me. What happened? What brought you today?
Ha ke le dumedise ba mamedi ba the Change Radio le babuhi lapeng. Like Ntate Ricky have said that o bua le nna Mme Agnes. Ntate Ricky ke tile mona ka jeku hobane ke supue ka monwana. Like an advisor ya Ntate Mokoto and other things that I need to put them very clear and straight.
They said you are an advice. You are advising Bamkoto.
Ntate Mokoto. Yeah.
On
or how he must run the Change Radio. How should he do his things?
Is that because of work background or something?
I do not know.
It's just an accusation.
It's just an accusation.
Jesus. And this accusation, may I know where does it come from?
This accusation that Ricky, I'm going to try to express myself in Sesotho because most of our listeners and viewers, I'll put a little bit of English, little bit of isiZulu because I am a Zulu. Though I am a Hlubi, I'm not a Zulu, but I've grown from Batba Buang Sizulu. And I'll start off by saying this. My intention was not to come here and respond to all the madness. The one thing that brought me here, there are two things actually. I heard this video, these clips, a few days, if not yesterday, it's the day before yesterday, go YouTube channel, the radio. And then when I was listening, ki utlwa Ntate Mabocho abitsa lebitso la ka mo. Hore I prayed for separation ya hae le Ntate Mokoto. And number two,
he said that.
Yeah, he said that.
In his own words on radio.
In his own words on radio. So, but I beha ka tsela e seng right. I beha ka tsela e seng right. Hans re tswella pele. Get la bolella hantle hore this thing of praying it's wa mokae hai the way yena I behanga thing as if ke ne ke rapella separation ya hae le Ntate Mokoto. That is not true. And then point number 2 ek batlang ho e addressa eo yona ke batla ho e addressa le whoever a molatelang a tsebe hore o tlamile a tsamaye trekking ya hae o tlamile a respect batho. Number 1, we itse meeting ernerna le wona previously. That was the last meeting. Ya karohano ya bona le Ntate Mokoto. Hone hona le batho ba neng ba tswa ko SACCO. SACCO ki organization e fongweng ke Marena. That was an NPO that was registered by Marena. Hobani, yes. And I'm coming from the royal family. I'm a Hlubi royal family. And for me, if
wait, you're the audio that I heard of you. Okay, I think I heard your audio.
Yes.
I'm surprised. I'm talking to a person that I was listening to.
Yes, woman. So with me when bua kataba ya Marena, me coming from Boreneng, ke bona motho a disrespect Marena ka tsela e jwalo. It's concerning. It's concerning because for me, Morena waka o moholo ho feta president. Morena o latelwa ke batho, Morena o na le lefatshe. Morena kore o hlomphehile.
Morena is king, okay?
Yes, Morena is king.
Not Jesus. Yeah, so
so ke batla ho khalmela mabocho. If wena mo tswang teng ha hona Marena, rona mo re tswang teng hona le Marena. Ke kopa a nketsetse ka mohao. Lebitso la SACCO ha ska ba le thetsa lo le thetsa. Because if we were to take things legally, it won't work for him.
Okay, no, now I understand. I'm also from an area where there is a king. When you start a business, where I come from, whether even if we are the beans, the first fruit, yeah. So I know what you mean by it.
Well, and hore a kenye Sako mo ferefering when ha ke tsebe ho tle jwang, because that day ho ne ho sena motho wa Sako. Yes, I am affiliated to Sako, like borena ba heso will affiliated to Sako. Automatically that makes me a member of Sako. So mona ke tlo mo kopa hore ha a tlohele ho bua ka Sako. Sako ke ntho ya marena, and Sako re tlamehile ho ihlompha, re fe hlompho a ba e tshwanetseng, ne? And Sako e qadile boreneng kwa Northern Cape. Hore e qeteletse e kene dipolotiking inele ka mabaka a itseng a hore hobane re a bona hore batho ba rona ha bana lefatshe, marena a rona ha ana lefatshe. Qetelong ya letsatsi ke bona batho ba latelwang ke batho. For us to get to change the constitution of the country as Sako, we need to have 1/3 majority so that we can be able to change the constitution of the country.
Oh, your representation and all.
Yes, yes. So ke kopa tje le ka mohla o le mona ha ka ba tsubela ha ka ba etsang, ha a se ke a hlola a bitsa Sako in any of his platform, because if we have to take him to the task, it's not going to end well.
What did he say exactly for the person who hasn't heard?
Uri, the meeting on rina le wona wa ho qetela wa karohano ya bona le wa FM. Batho ba Sako ba ne ba le teng moo.
Batho ba Sako.
Yes, leadership ya Sako ine ile teng moo. And ha ke re ke a thola ke a sheba, ho no sna leadership ya Sako. Ho no sna any person enkareng mhlomong ke president or ke treasurer or ke mang. And ha re ne reintroducer, nobody has said to that meeting, I am so and so from the Sako organization. Nobody has said that. So yena, because he is angry, he thought hore it's okay for him
To
implicate Sako. This is a very big subject. If ukenya a organization yamarena,
yeah,
it's very huge,
because it has now crossed borders. It's no longer exposing thingy. It seems like Sako has some dealings with it. It implies people in
we are born,
yeah,
and Sako ha se mokgatlo wa boreneng bo itseng. Marena kaofela a South Africa, if a sa tsebe, they are part of Sako. And ha ile a sa tsebe, le baruti, hona le baruti ba tsamayang le Sako, because ba understand hore Sako re tswa ho kae, and tshebelo pele ya rona ke efeng. So ha ska nahana hore ha bua ka Sako, o bua ka an individual and just an ordinary person.
it's people that are very respected in the country,
Very much respected.
and for him to implicate them in things that they have nothing to, they will take action.
Very serious actions.
This is why I said in the previous episode, if you haven't watched the interview, walk your journey and know what that journey is. And so the advice part, I want to know, what advice was he accusing Sako leadership to be giving?
I do not know hore one high bua ka mantswe to say, but
just
ba
said.
Sako, yes, he just said hona le ba etapele ba Sako mono o sa tsebeng hore ke di bodyguard or ke di eng o kilo bana. How can batho ba tswang boreneng ibe di bodyguard tsa Ntate Mokotlo? E le hore o banga jwang, o nahana hore ke bo mang? They are not just commoners. I'm sorry to say that, because this subject, it makes me very angry. It showed me hore mabocho ha ona motho a mo hlomphang, ene mabocho ha ikemisetsa ho hlompha motho mang kapa mang. So ke batla ho ikwala that subject ya Sako. Mabocho ke ikopela ha a se ke a ba a pheta a mention a Sako ho dintho tsena tsa hae. Ke se ke monga ska a tabloid radio mo a etsang dintho teng, ha etsi di research tsa hae hantle, ha fumane di facts tsa hae hantle before he can come and present ko radio ya hae. Sako is a no-go area. It's a no-go area.
So he brought, again, another same point that we mentioned on the previous point. if these things, he had not brought them up, there would be no need for this video.
Definitely.
There would be no need for someone to come up and have to explain and break it down to say, Sako is not even involved.
Not at all. Not at all.
Why would he use that as a way to authenticate himself, to look like the David, and there is Mukoto who is the Goliath. He needs to so the whole thing, it becomes why he is the one who's raising all these things up. He's bringing the problems
to himself.
And so this video, let it be a reminder for people. Sometimes when we don't have the context of the subjects, we lose our focus and we lose the track of who are we talking about. Like me, when you say Sako, I was like, oh, okay, who's Sako? When I heard the audio also, I never made the relationship to say the voice that I'm talking to. So until we started this episode, I'm like, oh, okay. This is the person I was talking to on thingy. The more he brings these things up, the more problems he's creating. He's creating problems. He's involving people that are nowhere close to the subject. You wanted to say something before I...
Yeah, because ntho a yentseng ke tello e kgolo ne. Ona tlamehile ho lo patala entleke. Ona tlamehile ho qoba dikgomo. A tsamaye a lo apologize boreneng. More especially mo borena bo foundweng teng. Borena bathong ba batlharo ko Northern Cape. If we were to go to that route. So ke a ikopela, ke a mogalemela. Ha se ka ba pheta yetsa ntho.
Yeah, there's cows. Unless you have cows.
Yeah, if I don't know dikgomo here, we can take it up. No problem. No problem if he has cows.
If you have cows, feel free.
And then the other thing ek batlang we address because ha ne ke shebile ko YouTube nya hae, though ke se ke lebetse hore the heading aning I beile ka yona, but to me it was like I have prayed for separation ya hae le Ntate Mokoto.
Okay.
Of which it's not the truth.
He put you there by name.
Me Agnes Mnomia. Me by name. And I never wanted to go leveling ya Mabochobocho. I've never thought of Mabochobocho IQ ya high is so low. I've never thought of that. Till ke bona dintho tsena tsa di postang tsa di ngolang. And kamra dintho tsena kaofela. Hona le batho ba fitlang hona jwale tjena na. Boma 2020, 2019, 2017.
To these stories.
I have joined Murendeni. Isanzane ile Murendeni then. Ka 2011 towards 2012. And I am the first person to come from Kereko Nutwa Nkitirano. And I personally called Mabochobocho to say, yeah man, dintho tse di bua ka tsona. Ke di bona dia etsahala mona. And unfortunately then nexoka ke bana le koloi. Ntate Mokoto a romella mme wa hae a tlo nlata so that I can go and narrate my story. And I did that. I narrated my story that Sunday night. Unfortunately, the following week, where we were supposed to go and narrate my story further, ke se kitla le other church members ba ne ba le pela mo apostol. That's when re thola re studio se kwetswe ha re sa khona ho kena ha re khone ho ya moyeng bobane. So boholo ba batho ba commentang ke batho ba fitlang. They don't know hore Ntate Mokoto le Ntate Mabochobocho ba tswa kae. And le dintho tse Ntate Mabochobocho a di ntse Ntate Mokoto e sale re ntse re phoka o la ka bona ha o phoka tshintsi e green ye o tla o ro iphoka ka mo e ya qala o iphoke o ya bona e sale re ntse re etsa ntho eo wa bona. I remember late last year before Balung interview I said nna ka clip because kutlwisiso yaka ya leeto la Ntate Mokoto ke hore Ntate Mokoto o na le neo and nna ha ke mo shebile Ntate Mokoto neo ya hae it's very unique. Ha e tshwane le neo efeng kapa efeng hobane I still remember there were people saying that ho tshong Ntate Mokoto o tsamaya ka madimona ho tlile jwang hore a khone ho kenya maoto a hae didibentsane tse 3. And then now I said in the clip, my analysis is, and I will say it over and over again, it's fine, didiba tseo di na le matla ao beng ba tsona ba ne ba tla ba tlo nka matla. Ntate Mokoto innocently went there, a kenya maoto wa hae ka moo. Ho ya ka nna, Ntate Mokoto ke vessel e sebedisitsweng ke Ntate Modimo to diffuse matla ao a lefifi ao mo ba ne ba tla ba tlo tsoseletsa teng. That is my analysis. And ke ka mo dintho di bonang ka teng.
And they've been falling ever since then.
They have been falling since ever then. Not unless motho a tla unconvince otherwise. That is,
if you think about it, now by Amodi Sangoma, what
exactly.
it's no longer.
It's no longer working. There are no more miracles. That's why bane ba re Ntate Mokoto o nkile matla a bona. Ho ya ka nna ha wa nka wa diffuse it. O sebeditswe ke Ntate Modimo, because I don't think gore Ntate Mokoto o na tseba gore hona le didiba tseo ka mo. O ile fela mo a fitla a bona, right? That's how I responded. And then I said to that clip, I still remember very well. I still have that clip to say I am very worried as an individual. Hobane ke bona leeto la Ntate Mokoto le di clouded, le diluted. Re bua ka dikereke, it's fine. Re kerekile, re sharp, re okay. We have been misled, we have been betrayed, we have been done so many things. Re right. Re batla ditaba tsena tsa semoya. If you don't understand spiritual things, you'll always be bored. My prayer is that Ntate Modimo a etse tsela ya hore neo ya Ntate Mokoto e tswelle pele.
Oh, that's where the prayer part.
Yes, that's where the prayer part comes in.
Okay.
And that
it singles out and it stands out.
Yes. I do not regret me saying that. And I've said to the clip, I'm going to pray about this. I'm not going to make noise. I remember ha ke ne ke qala ke etsa my fasting. Ke rapella fela hore neo ya Ntate Mokoto let not be clouded. Because ke holetse pela batho ba nang le dineo ne. Ha motho ana sa batho etsa ntho a rongweng, I would see them getting sick. I would see them financially ba struggle ne. And then right, if I would have done this, so I was thinking out of the box, thinking, okay, I've seen people suffering because
it's not expressed.
Exactly. And I said it, I remember we are having our group, the members I said to them, social media. I am in the mission. I'm going to, my prayer point, and I did that. I fasted. I prayed to say Ntate.
I remember the audio now that you mentioned that.
Yes, I said Ntate makere o itse wena ha re kokota o tla re bulela, ha re kopa o tla re fa. Kere tsatsing la ka je go kopa ntho iwane fela. Etsa tsela ya hore neo ya Ntate Mokoto e tswelle pele. Ikaba ka mrana ko ikae. As long as neo ya hae e tlo tswella pele. A tswelle pele a thuse batho ba hao ka tsela e wena le yena e le tsebang hore le buile jwang. Ke re rona re ba latedi fela ra supporta neho ena hobaneng ra e bona hore ka nnete e re ntshitse mathateng. Ka re ke a kopa Ntate Modimo. That's what I did.
It was not, you were not praying for dismantling anything.
No.
It was, but because the person that might listen to that has a negative mindset, they don't understand what it means to stand out.
Yes.
Let this gift stand out.
Definitely. Because was
it an audio you had posted into the group?
I posted the audio in the group saying, guys, I am going to pray for Neo ya Ntate Mokoto. Hore ho bena le tsela mo atla khonang ho ya studio beke le beke a khone ho address the issues.
Yeah.
And ilare ha ke se ke qala leeto leo, I told them I'm not going to be available, guys. Skela makala le ntse le mfounela le etsang focus ki ena ha nka ba ka etsa spirit and le ho yena Ntate Mabotjho ho di clip tseo e ke tloetseng ho di romela ke ile ka e romela but ha ka ba e bapala. But it never bothered me because I'm not the only one. But baba ngata akere tlamela anke mo le mane. But le yena sefahlong sa a kile ka mo jwetsa mhlana tlile haka ke mo omanyetsa taba ena ya Ntate Mokoto e ba aro
this dispute now.
This dispute now. I've told him.
You told him
mahlong mahlong.
I think WhatsApp.
No, e seng ka di WhatsApp. E le hore ke ile ka zama ho mo founela ke gona 7 times, or if not 11 times. Ho fihlella ke be ke etsa audio airing. How dare you? O ka bua ka ngwana wa ntate Mokoto ka tsela e so. Ho mme a qalang ho mo bona kapa a sokang a kopana le yena. Ha ke ne ke mametse dintho tse ne di bua ke Menoko. Exactly what Menoko have said. That's what exactly Ntate Mabotjho have said. Ke ne ke mo khalmella yona ntho eo. Now I'm one person that Rekine. You are my brother. And ha ke utlwaetsa, ha o etsa dintho tse wrong, I'll definitely call you into order. There and there. How some mameli, I'll call other person or bona ke khutsa Ricky ha mameli. Ricky etsa 1 2 3 4 5. I wouldn't go out to other people to say, hey, what's a Ricky etsa so. I'm not that type of a person. So, but they feel I'm arrogant. I'm not arrogant. Now I'm a straight talker. Taba ki head on.
So he had come to you.
Yes.
And then you had time to address
the
dispute. And what was that conversation like?
The conversation was like, because he called me, what's
that?
Hunting.
Okay.
That's why anasa Arabi phone. Get how the whole day got never mind, it's fine. Kare ku bitseditse taba ke eng. Taba ena ya hao ya hore o nke ditaba tse confidential. Tsa ngwana ntate Mokoto le lapa la hae. O lo di jwetsa Menoko. Menoko a qala le ho kopana le lona. What kind of impression are you giving her? Kere ntate Mabotjho ke motswadi ke na le bana. I've got 2 boys and 1 girl. Kere baneng ba ka ba le bararo hona le ngwana wa ka a hare. All right, but una le ntwena ya ha ya hore a etse dintho o sa tsebeng hore o dinka kae. Kere ke utlwa bohloko ke le mme ha ile hore o tlo bua dintho tse so. Kere you're supposed to be your brother's keeper. Step up. Ha ngwana wa moena wa ha o mona ana le bothata. E seng hore o tsamaye o lo bua ka yena bathong ba bang. Wa bona? Kere that is not brotherhood o ya ka nna. Kere le wena ha o ka bana le mathata le ngwana wa ha o ka ba le mosadi wa hao. I would definitely step in as your sister. I wouldn't go around gossiping about you. Ke o pente ho batho ba sa o tsebeng. Kere even le motho a o tsebang. Before ke ya mothong o, I'll come to you to say, hey, my brother man, ke bona phoso mona le mona le mona le mona le mona. Wa bona? And then he said to me, taba ko hore nna ha ke bui. Kare if o sa bui, tsamaya ulo bua. Tsamaya ulo bua. Go and vindicate yourself. Ha ile ra wa ditho dintho tseo. Ke re wa tseba why ke kgolwa hore o di shule dintho tseo. Ke re Menoko. Ha ke khole o ne o mtseba. Ha ke khole ntate Mokoto na mtseba. Ke re ha ke khole Menoko e le sangoma sena sa hore o khona ho utlwa kapa ho bona dintho tse etsahalang ka hara malapa a batho. Ke re ha ke dumele eo. Ke re I do believe wena o ithulo ntho eno. Ke mo omantse haholo Mabotjho. Ka ba ka re ho yena, now that ke a bona le sebetsa le ntate prof aba mitsa ntate Mkadi. Ke re part of me was happy to say ke mona o sa sebetsa le bona ho tjong dintho di se le di le hantle ya bona. Though ke sa batle ho duela dintho tsa ntate Mkadi because ha ke mo ka ntho tsa ntate Mkadi ke mona ka taba ya Mabotjho. Ka re ho yena, tread carefully. Don't be too excited. And when whatever you are doing, guys, learn to pray. Rona, we are praying in the background. Ra intercede on your behalf. Because
the work you are doing is not.
Yes, it's so unusual. Who expose ama demona, lebuloi and everything. So real cover but what you have done, I'm not happy about it. Kare ho yena re batla ho le bona le kopane. Ke re botho wa hopola o lana wa etsa wa betraya wa feme dilemong tse fitileng. Wa hopola re lana ra o khalemela re le kaofela bo wa feme re bitsana bo wa feme. Le rena le slogan se sa hore hoha wa bona re bitsana jwalo. Ke re do you still remember na? Ke re ha ke so le bale. Ke re ke ile ka o tshwarela mara ha ke so le bale ho hang. Ke re wa hopola hore o nontse o qwaketsana le medipuo jwang ka dintho tse siko o ke lo bana ke mo hopotse ke wa hopola hore hona le radio o thwang ke hana ba ne ba ibitsang na.
And this is in person, by the way.
Yes, o kilwa bana. Ke se ke lebetse lebitso la radio. In a Val TV actually. Ila re ha ba tibe bua ko theater, and then ba bona, right, let us register our own radio. Ke ha batla register a Val radio. That radio ke re medipuo ke yena aneng a compiler that documentation, in a sense that ko ICASA una sa bilana le copy ya hae, because time ena two na le ICASA, time ena two ane ali ICASA. They have registered that ke ntho e teng ina le certificate sa yona.
It's registered. It can
it function at any time. Ke re botchi ke re hopola mo le tswang teng le wa feme le rona kaofela. Ke re hopola dintho tse kaofela. You cannot allow yourself to be clouded ke dintho tse sa reng next.
And pride, and then
le pride.
start speaking otherwise.
Ka moghalemela ka re lerato la tšhelete le tlo losisa focus. Lerato la fame le tlo losisa focus. Ke re ke bua le wena se ka mo ena wa ka. Ha ke bue le wena se ka motho a tswang ka ntle. Ke re what you have done to wa fame. Ke re ke batla ho jwetsa intutse hampe. Ke ka ho nna ke le ka nka initiative or I should call you. O tlo dula nna fatshe o ntlhalotse what is your problem now?
In person.
What is your problem now? Ke sa batle ho utlwa batho ba re batla wena o ntjwetse ka molomo wa hao. No bona. Ainanata. Ka re bona he.
What's that?
Like hey, a ke tsebe tla ro inanata.
Someone will interpret in the comment section.
Yes, but I interpret to the comment section. Woman, kare na I am willing as Agnes. Horeng ki bitse bo wa feme ba bang. Batho leng khale rena le bona. Re le kopanye, re bue this thing. Ifele iska ya hlola e etsahala botse.
Not public.
Not publicly. Privately, in our private space.
By the way, he's willing.
Yeah,
Baba Mkoto is willing for that to happen.
I called Ndadem Mkoto and he was willing. And I called other members in the Khalerza Malibon. Whatever, it never happened, but ya etsahala it's waki Ndate Bishop Madu.
Okay.
Ya etsahala bonnete he la ha isaka ya fela hantle. Ka baka la horeng bochi ntho a nkwadisang ka yona o le shano. And a dipea kaofela dintho tseo. Wa utlwa hore ha a person from outside a tlo o jwetsa hore ka tlung ha hao ke a tseba hore hona le khabotho e green, hona le khabotho e jwang a soka a kena a o jwetsa hore ke utlwile ka Agnes. That person is lying.
Haibo.
A tla o jwetsa hore ke a tseba hore ka kamoreng ya hao hona le eng hona le. That person is lying. A soka a kena ka ntlung ya hao. That's what Bochi did. He told Menuku whatever dintho tse very sensitive and private.
Yeah, things that should not be
in the public eye. Ha ona motswadi a tswalang ngwana hore ilo ba ntho e sele. Bana ba rona re ba tswala re kope ntate modimo re a dule a ba protectile. But bana ba fitla ka ntle ba iketsa dintho tse ba di ratang.
Also, just like to advise, if especially on the marining part, the Saku part, you can remove that part. And if he does remove that part, I'm sure this side also, this part will be removed. You don't want this to drag into the future. Because if it continues on into the future, it will paint you a certain way. But as long as you keep provoking and involving people that are not there, you keep speaking to people about things that are, if you have issues with someone, go pray about it. That's the best way. If you want to know a person who prays about things, they don't have time to be telling other people about thingy. But the fact that you are telling other people is because you are not praying about it. And so it's very concerning. I'm just reminding again, stop and walk your journey. There's already enough people that have come. She doesn't have to be here addressing all these things, addressing all these personal meetings that you had. This was a private conversation we should not be hearing about.
Exactly.
But now we hear about it because you continue hurting other people who are not involved. And you are sidelining our track. There is somewhere we are going. Change Radio probably had a better video to upload. Yes, better. I said better. The word better video to upload about something that's important. But now we are addressing this.
And it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. But I had to say, you know what? This is enough. And it's
happened before.
So I had to say, this is enough now. And more especially as I can say the organization, this is enough now.
And also we had to make it public on YouTube so that everybody else that's busy watching whatever he's made will have a second perspective. You want to believe that you can go on, but there are certain things you can hear here. They are becoming a pattern. If everybody is saying Bochi is doing something wrong, all that has to happen is Bochi, stop talking about it, move on and make whatever content you want to make and leave other people. Just leave. You want to expose things, go expose. There's other videos I'm sure you have in mind. Do those videos. Leave people that are not involved. Once you get other people involved,
they're inviting problems.
Bosako, they don't sound like Ricky. Bosako as Ricky. Bosako as they won't talk to you. They have a reputation. So how far did you go with the meeting?
The meeting Wadula. Ntate Koto abeha story sa hae like ke utlile previously ha no interview Menuko. And ilare mo ha ba fa mabotshobotsho chance ya hore mabotshobotsho ha a ipuele hore o reng na dinthong tsenana. He denied everything.
He denied saying.
He denied everything, saying hore nna ha ka tsho dintho tse kaofela ha tsona. The amazing part ko hore dintho tse aneng a di buile ho Menuko ona di buile le ho Ntate Mkadi. And na personally impha bothata ntweo hore Ntate Mkadi o dutse le bontate ba babedi ke bana ba lwana o mong o bua o mong ho o mong hampe. Yena ska a neutral person ke ka baka la eng Ntate Mkadi never stepped in to say ba fetu ke le bona la lwana tlo re dule fatshe ska banna re bueng a ska nka taba tsa ka mo a disa ka mane a tlosa tsa ka mo a disa ka mane. For me ke feel hore ona ba arohanya le yena. That was very wrong. Moetapele ha yetse jwalo. Moetapele wa kopanya. But hey, it's a topic for another day.
Yeah, but that also reminds people, let us be mindful that we are talking about people. Sometimes when you talk too much about people, you forget these are individuals, they have lives, they have family. Their names are blasted on social media to people that shouldn't. You know, if this subject was really because Babu Mkoto had done something wrong, it would address Babu Mkoto. But now, because there isn't any wrong, you go around painting everybody. Even though he doesn't know me like that. I've met him once, I think. I've met him once. But does it have to be now that there's now a story? Now everybody, there's always going to be a story. There is a point where you have to, like I stated, she is here. Babu Mkoto, we are here at Babu Mkoto studio. Our Snuko is here. How can one person be wronged by everyone?
It tells you a lot. It means that person has a problem.
Introspect. Look back.
I always say to people, if utlo thola hore wena o lwana le lefatshe le kaofela sibodu kwe sibodu ke yena ha hona Ntate Ricky ha hona hore ibe batho kaofela bana le mathata ka nna ke le mong kaofela wa fitla mo ke Agnes wa fitla mo ke Agnes wa fitla mo ke Agnes. It means mathata ana le nna ke nna tlamele ke nkge mahafi ha ka hlapa ha ke tsamaye go hlapa so back to the meeting Ntate Ricky ne so mabotsho ola phiha. You know, if I had a chance to say something ke na re mshomong ke be ke sa tho next ke be ke motlapile
That would have been better communication.
For me. Because now, uphiha everything I builing ka mlomo wa hae. Everything I builing ka mlomo wa hae. Kuri he went as far. Kuri, for me, Bochi is angry. Ubita. Ubita. Because ke hopola meeting wa rona. O mentioned lore wa feme o itse o tlo mo rekela studio. O tlo mo ahela studio. Kare ho yena, don't you think gore o santsene ali busy ka studio sa hae na? And then o tla tla ho wena sa qetile. Are ke khale am promises. Ke but don't you think gore hona le other family matters that he has to concentrate to them first before a tlo thusa wena na? Are no, ha ona ntwe jwalo. So to me, ubita man ha hantle.
This microphone is over 3,000 rand. So it's not easy popping up money for equipment. And equipment, highly micro, so it's not an important part of the, it's just here, you are looking at me. And so it's very costly to expect someone to do something for you. Yes, they might have promised, and yes, they might be still having to deal with other things, but because you, in your life, let's be reminded, in your life, you are the center and the hero. So it makes sense that you get consent, but you might want to consult other people because that will give you perspective on whether you are correctly seeing. So you were trying to give him perspective, basically.
Exactly. Nekilika homo bonsa bona man. Ha se ho ya ka nna ke nahana hore ha o le bala. But kin tate una le lelapa, una le other things that tse leng priority before re tla tabeng ya studio. But to him it was like, no, one user. Kere o user jwang. I went as far as to remind him to say, oh, user jwang. Wa tseba re golwetsa maenga yona hore ke ya ki tšhelete hae. Ke motho o usang o. Kere marulelo a o dulang ho ona. Do you still remember ke intse ile yena a o thusitseng. Motho jalo wa o user. Kere hona je o le ruong wa rekisa dinku di still intse ile yena motho jalo wa o user. Kere wa tseba if I were you, I would be very grateful to say le ho di struggles tsaka, at least I'm having my brother who always thinks of me and my family.
And that's the reason I want to also remind, that's the reason I'm here. If you want to put perspective on why does Ricky care to be there, that's the reason I'm here. Okay, is that having seen that type of generosity, even the Bible tells you, okay, if we are listening to the Bible, fine, the Bible tells you to give honor where it's due. And so to see good portrayed to you and then you paint it a certain way,
it's wrong, Daddy. It's very wrong.
Everything else you can say someone wronged me, but at the end of the day, and again, we are all individuals here. Nobody owes anybody anything. Even government tomorrow they might tomorrow decide to portray their budget. Uncle, they give you a budget every year. We're going to use the money for ESCOM. We're going to use the money for this. They tell you where they're going to spend their money. So at the end of the day, they don't owe you.
Exactly.
So it's important to be reminded that sometimes people need a reality check, to be reminded where you are right now. So as a reminder, small reminder, before she can continue with this story, be reminded that now you are involving people that have nothing to do with this story. Other people's emotions are now in your titles, in your videos, and however you portray it. Please don't even make a response. Like I said, don't even make a response. Just remove those videos. Stop talking about people that are not involved in the story. Next thing you know, I am now put there. Even if I'm not thinking. So it becomes a problem. Now, how did the radio part story end? Is it just registered? It didn't go anywhere?
Yeah, the radio is registered. The TV is registered. I still have the
paperwork.
The certificate in my phone, if I still remember very well. I do have a certificate. So
those are things to focus on. Those are things to do.
Exactly.
Focus on positive.
And at the time, we were saying that Radio Khoshele Tsaning must be registered. Then we remember to, oh no, guys, we need not to register Radio Khosheletsane. We are having a registered entity. We must just come and work. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Katsila any reshibli kayon. So I'm very sad. I'm very sad. And then going back to being meeting that meeting how
where he denied.
Yeah, where he denied everything. That's when Wafeme felt to I must just get a my and Lena honestly I felt rababala musmo ukasi buid into a personal humutu asats being daddy and then when I happy would pay her kaufela. What is that? Hoshun Ramashanya kaufel. And the other part alien disappointed her because the Ntatumkadi uni alitemu. For me, it was like only more hutlo kaka purpose more alaba abua mantu I was a bit like shocked. Next I expect her to because I said to Bochi, I worked under his leadership. How he operates. Bochi apparently went and tell him that. So Ntatemkadi ha afitla asense ari o batla ho bona motho ona a ntseng a bua ka yena hore o wa motseba as if o kile a robala le yena. So for me it was too big.
It was too big of another problem.
Yes.
Like, but we are still here now. We're jumping to okay. So guys, calm down.
So to me it was too big, and I was like, Prof Unwile ing. But then I know him. Kilaka ba shocked hana kunyan, but kara anyway, it's him.
It is what it is.
Why should I be shocked? I know him. And Kalebo Ndade Maduna, because Ndade Maduna was Bishop Maduna was able to address it Katsela right to say no, ising Katsela Ejwalo Ndade Retla Clare addresser, and you are welcome to when I'm meeting. But unfortunately, meeting how kaba habanali buikarabelo from Omabotoboto bo peta hitsing hore a dumele hore e ka nnete ke ditshuro, because nna ke feel hore if I were him ke se ke bona hore ditaba tsa ka kaofela di hlaetse poaneng, I would say ka nnete ke ditsholo ke ikopela tshwarelo ke le ka goptjwa hobane le Sesotho se ya tso se re e goptjwa e le maoto a mane. I would have done that, and I want to believe hore mohlomong le wa feme le family ya hae, they would have said, okay, he has apologized, let us continue working. But wa pheha and dintho tse buang ke the third person ke dintho tse temvele tse etsahalang tse very private and personal. So it means that motho ke ena fela na le maikutlo, motho ke ena fela ana le nkelelo, rona kaofela re ditseketseke wa bona.
That's why I said on the episode when we were talking with us, say it's disrespectful to the listener because you say something and then you don't hold yourself accountable to it. So that becomes very, very concerning. Now, is there any part of that meeting that seemed from his side to say it can continue or can have, there can be another meeting? Did he highlight?
You know, Ricky, I don't know, because now I was furious. I don't want to lie to you. I wonder if there is something in yon since I left. Mutabu le shano li destroy batho. Le shano le etsa hore batho ba bang ba ditronko ka baka la leshano, batho ba bang ba shwele ka baka la leshano, batho ba bang ha ba sa kgona ho ema fatshe ka baka la hore ba ile ba buelwa leshano. I was very furious. Hence ke re ho wena, if I were to be given a chance to speak that day, ke be ke tlabile ba botho to say ako bue nnete bophelong ba hao wa bona. But lena I felt the right, let me just go, because be ne ke lo lata ngwana se le bo ma 28 ka right, let me rather go. So who says who etsahala ing after that, I do not know. But now what I did, ntate Bishop Maduna, ki ile ka mo kopa ka re ntate Bishop Maduna, nantse ke tlo kopa ho kopana le ntate Mokadi, so that I can address some of the issues le yena. O kile bona. I don't know, it's fine. That will happen. So I talk about it, but it doesn't bother me anymore. But in terms of borderang, ya mabocho, if asa hlokomedi ne, o tlo destroy batho ba bangata. And mabocho ha sa hlokomedi, actually o sentse a destroy le yena self. Mabocho o tlamela a ithute ho bua nnete ka dinako tsohle. Nnete ke a tseba e a hlaba. And I said it once and I will say it again. Even to my deathbed, I will say it. Nnete ke tla emela. Even if I have to ke fufulelwe madi, I will stand for the truth. And if motho o mong a etsa motho o mong wrong, I will always speak out to say what you are doing is wrong. Ha ona motho nna ke le Agnes e ke tlo mo thabisang ka baka la hore ke tshaba re ke kapa ke tshaba wa feme. Le wa feme lena ha ka etsa ntho e wrong mahlong aka ka e tseba kapa ka utlwa, I will definitely confront him. And why we etsa jwalo? I ithalose. And I look tlamela lo kopa tshwarelo. He must go and apologize motho a mentseng wrong. O kile bona. Mabocho. Ke kopa a tlohele ntho a etsang. A tlohele ntho a etsang because honestly, ho no ho sna need ya hore ke tle mo. Ke tlo ipuella hobane a re advisor ntate Mokoto. There is nothing like that. Menoko wa fitla. Ha tsebe ntate Mokoto o tswa kae. O tla ma advisor jwang. Medipuo e sale re tsamaya kaofela from 2011-2012. Ha hona mohlang le di meeting tsa rona re ne re di tshwara re khalemela botjhi. Ha hona le mohlang mo medipuo a gileng a re wena mabocho kapa wena ntate Mokoto no etsa tjena hore ho tlo be tjena. I do not remember, not unless hane adibua in my absentia. But I do not remember that. I don't remember myself nna ke advice ntate Mokoto hore wa feme mona tlamele o etse so. We talk ntate Mokoto if there is that need or re bue. But we don't phone each other frequently as if ke PA ya. We don't do that. So mabocho o painter picture ya hore na menoko le medipuo re accomplishes mission wa rona. There is nothing wrong that
which was to split them. But the split has been because of all these things that he keeps bringing up, and he's
crosses a line this time. Ntate Mokoto le mabocho ba qalo arohana ntate re ka lo sa se ha ba qalo ho arohana re lana ra kena dipakeng. This time ke feel hore o crosses a line. You cannot take my dirty laundry ya family yaka o no e aneha strateng. Ene ntate Mokoto o ile a ibua mhlatsatsi le hore bana baka le mohatsa ka ba itse this is enough. It's either us or mabocho.
Yeah.
A sane man o bone I cannot lose my family ka baka la mabocho. Ha no tsamaya.
And he didn't address it even then.
Never. Linna nekta etsa jwalo. I will always choose my family over motho mang kapa mang.
And also there's something to note here. For some people they might say, no, why don't they just forgive him? What? You see, you can't dictate. A person, once you've said something, they have the right to feel how they feel. Until you made them, you felt the need to express yourself the way you express. They have the right to feel the way they feel. But you can't now want it to be the other way around when you haven't dictated that message to the other side. As I've stated on the previous episode with Asnook, this conversation should not be happening. And I keep saying that because if the constant barrage of arrows that has been coming from that side were not so aimed at destroying character, trying to make him look like he's not a good father and all those things, that's very, very demeaning. You don't go that low.
No, you don't.
You know, I don't have kids, but I know very well that there was a period where you couldn't have told me a thing. I was a club hop, go to this club, to this club, to the most dangerous clubs you could have gone to in Hillbrow. Out of all places. We're talking about the 2008, 2007, the days of Rob Your Jeans Day. 501 is highly popular. 501 Levi's. Those days, those were the days when I was club hopping. And the worst thing of it is that in that period, a parent, actually, if you think of it, this would be an episode to our Snuku's show, by the way. A biggest conversation is parents mostly develop sicknesses in the days of their teenage kids. When their kids are teenagers, that's the days where you develop the high blood pressure because, hey, you can't. So as a child who I knew very well, I was doing it like, oh, she said, I'm going to do this. And then you go and you lay it out. You can't expect them to feel different. But then at the same time, for you to go to those same meeting where they came, Bamkoto came to the meeting, showing a line that there's reconciliation that can think. That's why on the previous episode, I also read the minutes to say what was being discussed in there. If he came to the meeting, it meant that he was willing to look over all of this without even addressing anything that he had said. And the thing that people mostly forget about topics like this is that they forget that you people have not responded. It's so easy to hear one person talking and never remember that, wait a minute, these people have never said even a single word to respond to what's being said. And so that's the thing that I also want to remind people. This is the first response. And now it's going this far because you can hear people are being dragged into topics that they have nothing to do with.
Hey, Ribiso about Jezebel on the side. Just imagine a stranger calling you a Jezebel. What is that?
You have accomplished your mission.
We have accomplished our mission.
Come on. You don't want to be there.
No.
If he doesn't, like for instance, I asked one question when I came here. I asked Nugu would attest to, and also Bamkot. I asked, how many times has Bochi been here? He said he's never been here to the studio. So if he wanted studio to work with, it's always been here.
Exactly.
While you are waiting for your studio.
Exactly.
Why not just work with what's available? Which is that's how we start YouTube. When Khosheletsani started, they used to just post audios. And he called me and he asked, this, and I called him and I said, start recording video. Because video is what YouTube is about. People want to see what they're talking about. And so I'll go back to that point. This subject should not even be addressed.
At all.
If he would just leave it, whatever the bitterness is, have an introspective, go back and look back at yourself. I remember 2013, I'm going to finish off with this one before we go to thing. I remember 2013 when I worked for a company and I was doing all the work in that thing. And I would be so exhausted to a point where the next day when I had to come to the office, I would come late. And they had the guards to write me a warning. After me doing everything in the thing, they had the guards to write me a warning. And that warning, I hold no bitterness towards those people because that warning told me something. I don't own the establishment for which I'm working. So even if I'm doing thingy, it's my job. Even if I'm overworking or working overtime, it's your job.
And you must be on time.
You must be on time still. So it was on me. So at that time, 2013, I decided I need to establish. It took me 2 years to decide my exit plan on how am I going. And there was no other way. There was no way for me to sustain myself if I'm leaving this job. So guess what? I went back to my mom's house. And I built. But of course, it took another 6 years for me to now be stable by myself. Sometimes we need to labor and apply ourselves. Okay? Nobody owes you a thing. Walk your journey if you have a journey.
If there is a journey.
If there is a journey, it's my journey. How come? This is too much effort.
Extremely.
If there is no journey.
Extremely.
This camera doesn't cost 20 rand. For there not to be a journey. There is a journey. This deck that I'm using right now, there is a journey that needs to be illustrated. And also, it's opening up doors for other people. Now, when you are saying, no, Asnuk, if you go there, you will experience what. So which means you are hindering other people to go to places where they will explore their talent. Now, should Asnuk decide, hey, the drama that side is too much. you've hindered someone from expressing their talents. Any words to close this particular subject?
Yabo, before I want to close, there is another thing that actually made me angry. To say that Ntate Mokoto was not available to make the program, so natla phone ka bo the 11th hours a re ha sa tla programming. That is a lie. Gamanga luhlaza.
That's what Bochi said about Mukoto not coming to the studio.
Yes, because that was my concern. Why is wa famous once in a while? Are he's too busy? Hore a busy with what? I mentioned an organization busy doing the Sako. Knowing handle ore Ntate Madonna Medipuo the members Sako, they were very busy on the ground. They were very busy on the ground. And Yena, he wouldn't be calling Ntate Mokoto to say, programme is all bill. Programme is all bill. So to me, it was like he was busy building hore akatibela Ntate Mokoto jwang. That is my perspective. Hore akatibela Ntate Mokoto jwang. Ha tla bua le shano hore o ne a le busy tsa dintho tsa Sako. No, I didn't need into you. It was not the truth. Re a tseba rona di member hore ke bo mamba ne ba le on the ground. And re a tseba hore Ntate Mokoto na le kae kana go itseng. Ntate Mokoto na le kae kana go itseng. Ha se ask a lo bua maka. Nna ntho ke kopang ka mabotho. Like we say okay psychologist a le go tle hantle programming e fitileng. Ha tsamaya a ho psychiatrist. Ilo mothusa ha ile re yena ke psychologist. Because it's clear that hore wa kula ka hlohong. Ha ke so bone motho a le shano tjena. Ha ke so bone motho a tsebang ho manipulate batho so. Ene ke kopa hore ha se ke be a kopa sympathy bathong ka leshano. If Bochi ana le leeto la tlameleng ho le tsamaya, ha tsamaye leeto la hae. It is very clear hore leeto la hae le la Ntate Mokoto ke maeto a mabedi a sa tshwaneng. And na ho ya ka nna ka mo ke se ke phetseng le bona ka teng. Ntate Mokoto ke yena na le leeto mo. Ke yena a tlameleng ho fulfula se Ntate Modimo a mo romeng tsona. Bochi hane ana le leeto, he wouldn't be inviting gore o etsa bo nthuseng ho hloya, because ke mo o hloile Ricky o tla bitsa one le one hore Ricky a etsa so le so gore o bukeletsa batho hore ba hloye batho ba bang ka dinto se seng teng. Bochi ha gaohane le mabitso a batho, a gaohane le mabitso a rona, a skebe a implicator le batho ba sa tlameyang ho ba teng mona. Ha a gaohane le bona batho bao ha ba thula because they don't know what to say. It's because they are busy. This is a tabloid nto a ratang e. And yena self ke yena a tshwereng peke le kharafu a chikang le bitla la hae. And le ho ba mamedi ba Bochi, even le ho ba the change radio ba fitlang le ba khale. Ho ba khale, I know they know the story. Se nna ke tsebang se John ke wa fem le se Bochi yena self a se tsebang but a choosang ho fetola ditaba tsa teng. So ke re ho ba mamedi ba batjha ba le balatedi ba batjha ha ba dule fatshe ba sebedise their emotional intelligence. There is no way in hell or in earth mo batho kaofela ba kallang ka motho o iwa. Ke a mo be ha ka kang yena motho batho ba, and they are coming from different places,
different backgrounds. They care about different things.
Backgrounds, and we care about different things. Ha hona hore kaofela ha rona re kalla ka motho o iwa. Ha ba ipotse hore ke hobaneng. And ha ile hore hona le batho ba eletsang mabotjho. Bona ke boipiletso baka. Ke kopa le eletse mabotjho ka nnete. Le skebela misleader mabotjho. Hobane ke fila hore le bona ha ile hore ba teng, they are contributing to his downfall. They are contributing to him to have more problems because batla musua batho. Batla motsudisa batho.
Re tla mo block a le rena.
Re tla mo
block, but we will end up blocking him because
ha skebe I alienate batho mabotjho ntwa yetsang. Hobane o tlo qetelletsa a setse a liwane. And the more ante a bua mashano, ke the more batho ba tsebang dinnete, they will come forward. They will expose him.
There are stories that shouldn't have to come out.
Exactly.
Just to remind.
So now this is my honest advice to him. Stop it. He must stop it. Wa bona ke buila hona le tse ding tse ke sa di buang. Ke feel hore ntate modimo o re ho lekane. O re ho. But hona le batho ba mo tsebang, hona le batho ba re tsebang, hona le batho ba tsebang hore morendene e qadile kae. Hona le batho ba tsebang the whole story. Ha ke bua batho ba fita mo bana. They will expose him. It's not going to be nice. A hopole hore ke motswadi, o na le bana, o na le mme a dulang le na ka tlung. A hopole hore whatever e tlo dentang yena, a nahane ka family ya hae. So na ke ikopela. Ha focus leetong la hae, ha ile hore leeto la hae le teng. And ha o bua ka leeto la hao, ha ona hore ka nne ntse o bua ka batho. O bua ka leeto la hao. Ha ile hore ba mamedi le balatedi ba hae, bana le emotional intelligence. Ha ba ke ba iketsise fela, ba subscribe ho the Change Radio. Ba check all the clips, even if they don't subscribe. Ha ba check all the videos. Ba mamele hore hona le mo menoko ka ba wa feme a kileng a mention teng hore mabotshobotsho that. I do not remember.
There's nothing.
I do not remember. Ke mamela le ho shebella YouTube each and every time ha ona le ntho entsha e kentsweng. I do not remember.
You know what? That's another point before you finish off on that one. I don't even have to watch every episode. You just come to know their personality and their true character. That I trust this person didn't say this.
Exactly.
You know, this did not come from thing. So it's concerning, as you're saying.
It is concerning, seriously.
And people that are advising, if there is, that would be the worst thing. The worst thing that could happen is to hate someone with someone that hates that person. Like, for instance, I don't know Prof. I've heard a lot of things. I've heard audios and whatnots and all those kind of things. It would be worse for Prof to be a person who holds the Bible and teaches the Bible on that show while hating me when he has never met me. Because he's heard things from thingy. That is a very terrible thing. When you now hate someone because you heard Bari. That's exactly what Makazi was singing. What of Hama Hemu Hem? What of Hama Bari Bari? That's exactly what she meant. You heard him say, Shim say, and you took that as the final word. That's very concerning.
It's very concerning. So na kya kopa. Ha stop mabotshobotsho. Le di advisors tsa hae. Ha ile re ke batho ba baholo. Ha ibe batho ba baholo ba nnete. And ha ba emele nnete. Hore batho ba ba hloya ka ba ha ba hloyi. As long as o tseba hore ba o hloile ka baka la nnete, so be it. And again, to you like nna. Wa bona nna ntate Ricky. I honestly don't care who says what.
You heard the truth, you heard it.
That's it. And Honda, you are not going to come here and lie to say, hey, actually, I wanted to say this. Bona Honda nete ke nete tlo dula ile nete ile jwalo. And I'm not going to shy away from the truth. And I'm not going to please anybody by lying. That I'm not going to do. Even if I have to be the last woman standing, so be it. La ha ile hore batho baka suta ka ofela plaka, as long as kids ba suta because ba tsaba nna ke bua nnete. Ha ke na double bone. I have peace in me
because the truth is held up.
Exactly. And nnete ina le mokoka. Le shano ha le na mokoka. Le shano tlamele o no o cover o bono o lebale hore kana ne kitse ne ke apere skipa se red.
You start saying something.
So you start saying something else. I ne skipa se black. But no, you said no apere skipa se red. And it's not pesa how ki say. But nete it's consistent. It's consistent. And batlo hele hore roa ka hle. Ha re arohanya ntate mabotshobotsho le wa feme. Mabotshobotsho se ba dibitsa hae. And I'm saying this. I'm still going to pray for mabotshobotsho hore a khule diketsong tsa hae tse mpe. because this thing is going to destroy him. O tla qeteletse a ihakile mabotjobotjo. O tla ipolaya mabotjobotjo ka baka la molomo wa hae. A ba bone eka batho o tla ba re ke o hlatsetswe ke matemona. For me una le letemona la leshano. O tlamehile ho thuswa. Ha tsamaya a yo psychiatrist because yena ke psychologist akere. Ha tsamaya a yo ho psychiatrist e mo prescribele dipidisi ha ile rutlamele a admitiwe ha admitiwe ba mo manage ko hospital a be hantle a khutle a kopane le batho.
Now I repeat again, this starts with, it's not a new subject, it's an old subject. They have dealt with this matter before. They have dealt with the division subject before. And so now that it's at this point where we are now having to address it in this format, it's just important to remember everything as it comes together. At the end of the day, here in this entire thing, is that there is a division. And that division, let the division happen nicely, peacefully. Okay? If WWE and what is the other one? WWE and WW whatever, those wrestling, there was a point where they were almost separated. They would put one Wednesday, one, until they were bought and made one entity. Okay? When you are merging, there is process of discussion, but allow the discussion. That's why I was earlier on talking about the limo situation, because those are platforms that are hosting the discussions. I don't post Hosheletsani content on my channel. I don't post Change Radio content on my channel. So Change Radio's content is important on Change Radio. You can't now put a bad image on Change Radio because you don't agree with them. And okay, they are splitting. There's a reason why Change Radio has been out there for such a short time and it has just skyrocketed. It's because the message, there is a message that's been spoken. That journey that you were talking about earlier on. There's a journey that's been spoken about and people are following that journey. What journey is being portrayed at Hosheletsani? Ask yourself.
We don't know.
At the end of the day, we remember, when you're talking about all these adults, like we make this video right now, let me tell you what's going to happen now. Babu Mkoto is going to get messages from people that disagree with him. That should not be the case.
No.
People should be able to forgive Mabocho and move on. But now, because someone feels, hey man, this thing once happened, as you were saying earlier on, this thing once happened, the person feels the need to address that thing. Now it becomes a topic. And that's what you said. It leads to a person not having credibility at all, to a point where people don't want to hear a single story. I'm going to give one example. Actually, let me give two. One is not enough. Okay? Even Jesus did parables. Okay? Remember Jay Israel. Extremely popular. He was everywhere. You could have seen Jay Israel's relevance would remain. Okay? He spoke, he exposed this, he exposed this. Today, nobody even thinks of Jay Israel.
I even forgotten about it.
That's what happens when you leave the truth. You fall out of the subject. We completely forget about you. Remember Maponga.
Yo, Bishop Maponga. Hey.
Maponga was, hey, church this, hey, church this, church this, are taking churches left and right center. Now, the subject is silent. Why? What am I trying to illustrate about these stories? When you are trying to keep up with tabloid nature, you have to keep consistent. Why? Because there's no truth. Why now you just keep up with whatever. It's a trend, basically. People are talking about this. Let me find my part in contributing to this entire thing. You have to keep sounding smart. But because we speak truth, we don't have to sound smart. I don't. Like, if you on Church Reality Upload, I make 2-3 episodes a day. Sometimes I even get so much work on one episode that I end up making one episode. Okay? Why? Because I'm speaking truth. It's consistently relevant. I don't seek views. I'm not here because I'm seeking views. We are doing very well that side. Okay? Yeah, I can't more for popularity. For that, other people might say, oh, we're popularity. No. Resha Pukako. Okay? But the truth is what keeps us consistent. The point I want to make here, after Uraka this person, Uraka this person, Uraka this person, these stories are going to fade. People will forget the day you said something about Ausnook. People will forget the day you said something about Bamukoto. And they now care about other topics. God forbid it is you they don't want to watch. And that is the one thing that you say is your passion. You say your passion is talking to people, your passion is radio, and you are good at it. But if you start using it as a weapon, remember that the very same person who points with one finger has 3 fingers.
3 fingers are pointing at him.
Pointing backwards. So every single time when I'm pointing at someone, I must be thinking about myself. So this is just a reminder as well. It's with care. This is what we call rebuking in love. We tell you about what we care about that you are ruining. You are ruining 10 years of relationships. I'm telling you now, I'm not calling you. And you might call and I will not answer. Because as you might have noticed in this story, I didn't even know who I was going to talk to. On the other, I knew the audio, but I didn't know. But now we are here meeting on a bad note. So next time when we meet, we don't want to be meeting and saying, oh, how far with that story? Because that's where we met. But if we met on saying, oh, there was a celebration party of departure of Hosheletsani and thingy, Hosheletsani is now running this. We met on a good note. We know each other on shaking hands terms. I mustn't know you by crying. Oh, no, at that time. I mustn't be the case. And so any closing words for me is going to be this. Walk your journey. Okay? Personally, I can attest in my journey, I wouldn't have, if you asked me 2018, what was I going to be doing? I wouldn't have told you because I didn't know what that looks like until I got a dream, a clear dream. The things that you're doing will not take you anywhere. I was doing video for whatever. And God showed me in a dream my equipment dying because I'm using the equipment for the wrong thing. And all of them, they died. All cameras, they are there. I keep them as a reminder. To say, this is what happens when you walk outside of the journey. And when I started doing the right thing, it enriches every part of my life. I'm able to see opportunities. I'm able to see beauty, nice things. You start thinking about getting married. You think about positive things. But when you cloud yourself, you're responding to this one, you create so much headache that the beauty and the opportunities, you will miss it. And at the end of the day, these topics that are trending now, it serves you well when people are silent and you keep talking. People will one day ask them, but why don't these people respond? And then they will start to see, okay, wait. Now, us and Kiru, we are responding. Fine. But those people, other ones that you might call out and say something about, that might not respond. People will start asking. So you don't want people to doubt your credibility in reporting. That's the point I want to mention. You care about radio. Do it right. Because if you keep tainting yourself to say you can say things that are not credible, or you can say things that are cooked a little bit, added a little bit salt, baking powder, you are adding baking powder. So people now start not knowing what's Mabochobocho cooking. Can I trust what he's cooking?
Nope.
And then before you know it, they start doubting. The program starts not growing. If you are stagnant right now, that's where you start. Show credibility. And how do you move from credibility? Portray different content. Go back to your content. As we said, your journey. Any closing words, leadership?
My closing words, ke batla ho leboha ntate Moruti Maduna. Ka sebete sa hore a khone ho bitsa kopane ya mhlatsatsi le programming ya bona ya maobane ke rata ba leboha haholo le ntate Moruti ke kana. Re a ba hloka ba eta pele ba tshwanang le bona. Ki kopa hore ebe ka ba consistent ka tsela e jwalo. They shouldn't take any sides. They should stand firm for the truth. Hobane nnete ha e batle a crowd. Nnete ke nnete, it stands out. It stands alone. And le ho bamamedi ba both radios. Let us use our emotional intelligence. We should comment where it's necessary. And we should refrain from insulting people unnecessarily. Re sa tsebe hantle ntle hore taba e qadile kae e ya kae. And re tlohele ho tima mollo ka petrol. Petrol ha e soka ba itima mollo. Petrol ha e soka itima mollo. And ho mabotjho le batho ba mo eletsang. Ke sa kopa hore le eletse mabotjho ka nnete. Mabotjho o sa le monyane mo aheng ka tsela e hantle. Ha ile hore le a morata e le ka nnete. Botjhi ha ile hore o na le leeto, tsamaya leetong la hao. Tsamaya leetong la hao ka nnete. O se ke wa tswa ka nnete le leshano hobane di keke tsa kopana. Di keke tsa ba tsa kopana. And the last thing kore o tsebe nna ha ka o hloya as Agnes, but ke hloile the way o etsang dintho ka teng. Wena as a person ha ka o hloya. Ke hloile leshano ntate, ke hloile the way o etsang dintho ka teng. And I will keep on praying for you. Hore ntate Modimo ka tsatsi le leng a kene ka hare ho wena, a kene pelong ya hao, a kene kelellong ya hao, o bone dintho ka tsela e positive. If una le mathata, reach out. Reach out. Hobane nna for me how etsahala so ke nana hore ke tsela e botjhi a reachang out ka yona. It's just that o sebedisa tsela e wrong. I so wish that ntate Modimo ka mo fa wisdom of reaching out ka tsela e right. Other than that, ke a leboha haholo.
Danko. Anyways, it's Ricky. We are back at the Change Radio. Radio to be listened to. Radio for change, as you might actually. I don't know if they have a slogan. I would have told you a nice slogan. Maybe they had one, you know. I don't know. Radio for change. Radio. And so, looking forward to seeing you guys on a later on episode. If it's your first time over here, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on a later on. It's Ricky, from me, out.